This is Blackjacks Weekly.
Presented by Bud Light on 97.3 ESPN.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. With your hosts, the voice of the Blackjacks, Nick Kosko.
And head coach Ron James.
Now, Blackjacks Weekly.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township, it's Blackjacks Weekly presented by Bud Light. Your host, Nick Kosko. Head coach Ron James will be joining us in a little bit. He is currently on the road because it's our bye-week edition, so right now, I'm pleased to be joined now by two members of the Blackjacks, wide receiver LaMark Brown and defensive end Monte Lewis, both making their second appearance on the show. Gentlemen, glad to have you with me.
Thank you for having us. Glad to be here.
Now I'll start here with you, LaMark. We'll just dive right into it. Obviously, it's the bye week right now. You guys have one regular season game remaining. The playoff option is now out of your guys' hands now due to the very close loss to Philadelphia this past weekend in front of a record-setting crowd at Boardwalk Hall. Over 7,100 in attendance for that one against Philadelphia. I mean, it was a great game without probably one of the best games of the season overall from any team in the league this year. So I'll go to you first, LaMark. I mean, you guys come out. You're coming out a bit of a slow start, but you get back into it. Your touchdown brings the guys back into it. The defense, Monte, obviously gets you guys back into it as well with a big 4th down and goal stop. So LaMark, I mean, what was going through everybody's heads as that game was evolving and it ended up being a back and forth affair? Obviously, Warren gets hurt during the game. He stays in there, makes a couple big plays. I mean, and the last 3 minutes of that fourth quarter were just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's just one of those games. It was an arena game. Obviously, I think teams are getting used to the new rules, so that lack of a 1 minute time rule at the end of the first half and at the end of the second half definitely changed the way games went, because you would see a lot more possessions, because that last minute of the game in past years would lead to, a crazy amount of possessions, a crazy amount of touchdowns, and that's why the scores were bigger. Now everybody's starting to adjust, and for us as a team, we just knew that we had to continue to just do what we normally do, which is play the game and not let the game get out of control and get out of our hands.
Now, Monte, when we went to that, we'll go back to that big 4th down stop for you guys on defense. I believe it was 20-14 at the time. Philadelphia's on top. They're knocking on the door again, trying to go up by 2 scores. And at that point, you're trying to claw you guys back into the ball game. Maybe score before the half, so you're only down by 1 score, and you guys got the ball to start the second half. Maybe it tied up, but you guys end up getting that 4th down stop, and they were a yard away on 1st and goal, and they couldn't punch it in. Take me back to that entire sequence.
Just looking at the score and the situation that we were in as a defense, we knew we had to get a stop and we had to get a turnover, and we needed it then. And, we read our keys. There's no secret to what, Philly does. The thing is, you just have to stop it. So it was an opportunity to get a stop and get off the field and give our offense the ball back, to close that gap, with the score. And, we did it, and, the game continued.
LaMark, let me go to you on this one. As the game went through, I just mentioned before, there was crazy plays throughout both sides. Obviously, after you guys are down 34-30, and then Warren gets hit in the back of the end zone. It's a safety. You guys get the onside kick, and then you end up scoring, get the ball back on another onside kick, pick 6 by Dwayne Hollis, and then you guys come back out of the field on offense, and you still take the lead after that. Touchdown, 2-point conversion. I mean, it was just insane in those last 3 minutes, as I mentioned before. Talk about Warren Smith for a quick second. And when he gets knocked, I didn't even see the injury, and all of a sudden I see him hobbling. I'm thinking, oh God, it's probably his knee, but it ends up being his foot. But he could barely move, and he's dropping back in the pocket. He's basically hopping on 1 foot. What kind of credit do you give him playing through that injury and still delivering the ball to you, Antoine Grant, and Rashad Still?
Warren's one of those guys that battles no matter what. He's a gritty competitor, and he comes to work every single day. I think it's no secret to the success that he's had since he's been inserted into the lineup. But Warren works hard every single day. He's always on film. He's always looking at ways to put us in a better situation. And, again, to be able to go out on the field after you have something happen to your foot that I know will sort of kind of change how you're playing. It changes your style. It takes you out of, a guy that's able to move in the pocket and be mobile to a guy that has to make sure that, he makes the right reads and he can step up in the pocket and make those throws. And he went out there and did what he was supposed to do to try to help this team get the win.
Monte, I know it was a tough loss for you guys, but what was it like playing in that environment, particularly on defense when I don't think I heard the crowd louder than when you guys got that 4th down stop, or you would make a big play, tackling a guy like Adrian Ferns down, or getting close to sacking Dan Rodham. I mean, the crowd was absolutely electric. What was it like playing in that environment on Saturday?
It was great. It was an electrifying crowd. It was actually, out of all of the years I've been playing, like, it was actually one of the best crowds I had ever played in front of. And being that this is a new team, like, you don't really know what to expect, but the Atlantic City Blackjack fans really came out and supported, and I mean, they were loud. Like, I was on the field, raising my hands, getting the crowd into it. I had my other teammates right there doing the same thing, and sure enough, they delivered.
What was it like for both of you guys? Obviously, it's tough to talk about a loss and not knowing that the playoff control is out of your hands now. You guys, for those who don't know, Washington now has to lose this weekend to Baltimore and then lose next Saturday to Columbus, and then you guys would need a win over Baltimore next week in the final regular season game to get that last playoff spot. So what's it like for both of you guys? And LaMark, you could start. What's it like for both of you guys and the rest of the team knowing that it's out of your hands and pretty much you have to work and get ready to play a game next week and not this weekend, and you basically you have to do a lot of scoreboard watching the next 2 weeks?
It's tough, especially for a lot of us because a lot of us guys on this team have been in the playoffs almost every single year. I've been in the playoffs every single year I've been in this league, and to be a part of 2 teams to go to the Arena Bowl in 2017 and then again last year in 2018, it's tough when you don't have that security blanket that you have knowing that you're in the playoffs. And you have to rely on, other teams to try to play spoiler for you. But it just goes back to, things that were in our control that we didn't take advantage of as a team. And, it's nobody else's fault but ours that we got to sit here and wait for it. So all we can do is try to get ready for the next week and finish out the season the way we're supposed to with the win at home and hope for the best.
What about you, Monte? Especially for you guys on defense, I know that late touchdown hurt, but then you guys still had a chance to win near the end of the game when you guys got the ball back up. But what's it like for you and the rest of your guys that you've been talking to, knowing that you have to wait out this week, everybody kind of takes their lumps and relaxes this week and gets back to work next week, and hopefully you guys are working next week, and then you basically have to wait until next Saturday to decide if your playoff fate is ultimately decided?
Exactly what LaMark just said. Since I've been in this league, I've been on every team that he's been on. Been in the playoffs every year, been to back-to-back Arena Bowls, and, usually at this point of the season, we're pretty much secure, and, it's different, on the outside looking in, and pretty much we're just going to have to go out there and finish the season off, like we want to, and, we're just going to have to be some cheerleaders for some of the other teams, even though, we played against them. We're just going to need some of those guys to, make some plays and beat some teams that we need to lose, which is Washington.
Now, moving forward, if you guys should have that chance to have that win and get in scenario next Sunday on the 21st against Baltimore, you guys do get in, I would think that people would still underestimate this football team, knowing that if you guys would finish with a record of 5-7, get into the playoffs as the 4th seed, you're going up against the number 1 team in likely Albany in that first round of the playoffs of the home-and-home series. I mean, what does this team have that can make you guys so dangerous should you be able to have that last chance to get into the postseason?
I think it's how we've been playing lately as a team. I think we started to realize what we were capable of doing. It's unfortunate that it happened towards the end of the season, but when we're clicking, I don't see many teams that really want to face us when we're really clicking, because we have so many different ways to attack you on offense and so many different playmakers on defense that, it could be anybody's day. It just really just depends on the flow of the game and what happens at that point.
Monte, what about you guys for a defense? I know that first home game against Columbus was, it was basically your coming out party this year with the 3 sacks, and Lyndon Trail had a big pick 6 in that game as well. Then there was a few games after that where the defense really, it was just tough to get a stop, but then all of a sudden it came back into fruition against Washington. Obviously there were some highlights against Philadelphia as well. As a defense, do you feel like you guys are in that same position where you can take over a game, even if it, especially if it means a win and get in scenario next week against Baltimore?
Yes, definitely. Just like our offense, like they're really rolling right now, and it's kind of been the same thing for our defense. We kind of fell off for a few weeks, but now we're getting back into the rhythm of things. We're finally putting some pieces, that we didn't have at one point in the season, where we actually have those pieces now, and we're all, bonding together, and we're getting the job done. So, if it comes down to it, man, I know for sure that our offense and our defense will get the job done.
It's Blackjacks Weekly, presented by Bud Light, live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. LaMark Brown and Monte Lewis joining me here on Blackjacks. We're going to take a quick break and step aside. On the other side, we will have head coach Ron James on the phone live from, I believe he's in Massachusetts. He's on his little bye-week vacation. He's enjoying himself now, but it's almost time to get back to work as well. But we'll hear from head coach Ron James about last week's game against Philadelphia and what his bye-week's been like, and looking ahead to Baltimore next week a little bit as well. So keep it locked here, listening to Blackjacks Weekly, presented by Bud Light, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Atlantic City Blackjacks football is on 97.3 ESPN.
The Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers.
Another home run for George Springer.
It's the first series after the All-Star break, and the second half run at the AL West begins.
At the track near the wall, he leaps, and he made the catch!
Can Houston make it 3 straight West titles, or can the Rangers chase them down?
Listen to Major League Baseball, Astros and Rangers on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins tonight at 7 p.m.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
Tropicana Atlantic City is not just a 24-hour gaming destination, it's a premier resort providing entertainment for everyone. Located on the beach and boardwalk, it's home to a wide variety of restaurants, bars, pools, and their very own IMAX theater. This season, Tropicana Atlantic City is proud to team up with the Atlantic City Blackjacks as the 2019 inaugural season presenting sponsor. For more information, visit Tropicana.net. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tilton Fitness, the official gym of the Atlantic City Blackjack players and Diamonds Dance Team, invites you to visit one of our 7 locations throughout New Jersey. Try one of Tilton Fitness's award-winning group exercise classes with over 125 to choose from every week. Use our state-of-the-art cardio and resistance equipment. Take a swim in our pool. Relax in our jacuzzi, steam room, or sauna. And complimentary babysitting for up to 2 hours. Tilton Fitness. See what we have to offer you.
With approved credit requires GMF financing on some models. See dealer for details. Need a car? Get to Bennett Chevrolet's Independence Day liquidation sale. Because Bennett's totally overstocked, they must liquidate over 200 vehicles immediately. So Bennett's selling all new vehicles at $1,000 below the GM supplier employee price. Plus, you keep all the rebates, as much as 25% off the sticker. Add it up, $1,000 under plus 25% off the sticker. There's no fuzzy math here, just humongous savings during Bennett's Independence Day liquidation. And if you're looking for pre-owned, Bennett's giving a minimum $7,000 for any rusted out, gas guzzling, oil burning, exhaust popping clunker. No matter what, if you can get it here, you'll get a minimum $7,000. Imagine how much more yours could be worth. And because Bennett Chevrolet's non-commissioned sales team is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend, there's never any pressure, ever. Nobody beats a Bennett Chevy deal. Nobody. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Never go hungry when you have Stir It Up Catering right around the corner. Established in 2002, Stir It Up caters events from Cape May to Philly and everything in between. Catering services range from elegant dinner parties and large weddings to casual food for a laid-back gathering. Standing by the Jersey Fresh motto, Stir It Up Catering supports local farms and fisheries by selecting all homegrown products. Stop by their new storefront off Tilton Road in Egg Harbor Township or go online to stirritupnj.com.
The doctors at Reconstructive Orthopedics are dedicated to getting you expert orthopedic care you need for your bone, joint, muscle, or ligament injury or condition. When you need exceptional care focused on you, see the same orthopedic doctors that treat the Atlantic City Blackjacks at Reconstructive Orthopedics. Available in Bordentown, Cherry Hill, Medford, Morristown, Sewell, Vineland, and Voorhees. Reconstructive Orthopedics, focused on you.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
This is Blackjacks Weekly.
Presented by Bud Light on 97.3 ESPN.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township.
Back here at Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. It's Blackjacks Weekly presented by Bud Light. Nick Kosko. Big thanks to LaMark Brown and Monte Lewis joining me. They'll rejoin us in a little bit, but for now we're going to go to the phone for the first time all season long because he's not here, but he's in some remote location taking a big load off. Head coach Ron James on the phone with us. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great, Nick. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Monte stole your seat tonight.
Hey, I'll give it up to him anytime.
Appreciate that, Coach.
Coach, I have to ask you first, how's the bye week been treating you? I know you've been relaxing. You've had some nice relaxing days. Obviously, it's been a long grind of the season, going back all the way to the open tryouts, training camp, and not having the bye week till the second to last week of the season. So how's the bye week been treating you so far?
Well, it usually does when I look at the film and put that to bed and then start working on Baltimore right away, knowing that's our last opponent. But, between that, just kind of doing what the players are doing right now, just kind of getting your mind wrapped around the last game of the season and the potentials that we still have for the playoffs. And, in between all that, taking a little time with family and beautiful Massachusetts right now staring at the water, so life's pretty good.
Massachusetts in the water. I mean, I would like to be there too, but we're facing approaching thunderstorms as we do, I think, every Thursday at this point.
Hey, if I couldn't be in Atlantic City, it's my second favorite spot.
That's good. That's really good of you to say. So, Coach, let's talk about that game this past Saturday just a little bit. I was just talking to the guys here, LaMark and Monte, and I know it was a tough one to swallow. Obviously, now the playoff destiny is now out of your guys' control, and losing by 5 points to Philadelphia for the third time this season is always a tough way to end a ball game, but in front of a raucous crowd at Boardwalk Hall, a record-setting crowd to say the least. You guys were in the game. It was one of the more exciting games, if not the most exciting game of the arena football season, but for any of these teams in the league this year. Take me back through that roller coaster of emotions throughout that entire game, particularly the last 3 minutes of that ball game.
Well, really, it went back and forth all game long, and we started off slow, but we rebounded pretty well, and then taking the lead, I think, was big for us. And the last 3 minutes of the game were pretty simple for us. We wanted to be able to, after we give up the safety, get the onside kick, which we did. Unfortunately, we gave up the 6-6, get the ball right back. Then we're in position to score. A little bit of miscommunication on the last touchdown. We would have liked to have not scored the touchdown and kept the ball short of the goal line, but we went in, got the conversion that we were looking for, and then put the pressure on Philly. And they made the last play in the last 13 seconds of the game, as we all know, and the rest was history. But we know it was a back-and-forth, hard-fought game, and one we should have won, one we could have won, and one we kind of let slip away, and it was a very difficult situation for all of us to be in. But knowing that and knowing what we have left, we still have one home game left and the possibility of still being alive in the playoffs, albeit slim, but we'll take any odds we can. We know it is the postseason. We're going to be a tough out in the tournament.
Now, Coach, I was just talking to the guys before about this as well. Knowing that it's the bye week and you have to do some scoreboard watching. Obviously, if Washington loses this week to Baltimore, and Baltimore's already in, but then Washington, a loss this week would keep you guys alive at least for another week, because they actually have to lose next Saturday as well, in addition to this week against Baltimore. Then you guys would play Sunday the 21st. So, well, what are you guys exactly looking for? Obviously, you guys want a Washington loss, so you guys are alive at least for next week, and then you have to do some more scoreboard watching. But knowing that this is the mental part of it now, knowing that you guys are on a bye week, there's not much you can do about it. So, what's the mindset of all the coaches and the players, knowing that you have to watch this week and then prepare for a win or a win and get in scenario next week? But knowing that Washington still has to play before you guys next week as well, to me it's a lot to kind of grasp at that point.
Well, it's tough to have it come down that way, but really we've been in this mode for the last 3 weeks. So, we went into Washington and won a game we had to win. We were at home against Philly and didn't win a game we had to win. And now we're at everybody else's mercy. So really it's about preparing for Baltimore as if that game is going to come down to whether we're in the playoffs or not, because we can't control any other outcome. We will know after this weekend if that's still a possibility, and we'll know going into our Sunday game if we're fighting for a playoff spot or not. And so, in the professional landscape, you're always playing to win, no matter what the circumstances are, but we'll have a little bit extra something special ready for that last game should we still be in playoff contention and need to win to get in.
What does this bye week mean to you and the guys? I know that a handful of guys were banged up. I know quarterback Warren Smith was banged up during that game and played valiantly through that foot injury. Was this the right time for a bye week, or do you feel like the league can maybe improve things for next year, maybe throwing bye weeks in the middle of the season? Because last week you and Philadelphia were the only two teams playing. Everybody else is on a bye week, and now this week you and Philadelphia are on the bye week while the other 4 teams are playing. Are these bye weeks too late in the season, or do you prefer them to be later, or do you kind of want them to be in the middle of the season?
Well, I think if you'd asked the guys, they'd have the same response. I think we would have rather had the bye week a couple weeks earlier, but it is what it is, and it's placed where it's at, and you've got to make the most of that. The only reason I say that is because we had a slew of injuries a few weeks ago. We would have used the week off, maybe say after our last Baltimore game would have been ideal, but anywhere along the line is going to work for us, and this could work for us too, because we were a little bit banged up going into the last game, and I asked everybody to kind of just sell out and know that they got a week to heal up, and they did that. I mean, this team gave me everything they had for 4 quarters, and I couldn't ask for anything more as a coach. A few situations I'd like to have back, and I'm sure players would too, but we can't control what the schedule looks like. We can only control how we play it. Now we have to be at the mercy of other teams to be able to get ourselves in the playoffs. But our biggest issue really is, making sure we're prepared for this last one. And should it mean the world to us, just taking care of business.
One more for you, Coach, before we let you go. I have to ask you about your two quarterbacks. Obviously, Warren Smith has filled in valiantly the past couple of weeks. He battled that foot injury, suffered during the game on Saturday against Philadelphia, played through it. But then I look at Randy Hippert, who's been out the past couple of weeks. He basically was serving as the emergency quarterback on Saturday due to his lingering knee injury as well. He actually went back into the dressing room and put his shoulder pads on as if he was going to come into the game if he had to relieve Warren. I mean, what's that say about both your guys, knowing that Warren stayed in that football game, but Randy was just as eager to come out there and help lead you guys to a potential victory?
I couldn't be any prouder of the 2 quarterbacks that we have on our roster. I mean, these guys are warriors. I mean, the fact that Randy Hippert has been a 2-time MVP in the league, would put his shoulder pads back on, in lieu of an injury of another quarterback, and not being at 100%. He would have went out there and gave it all he had as well. And Warren not coming out. I mean, that's a true warrior. That's somebody that wants to continue to compete. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like for this last game. To be honest with you, both guys are banged up, but I know that, should we want either one of those guys to play, and should either one be capable of playing, even if they're not at 100%, both of these guys would say, yeah, Coach, I'm in. I mean, the team means that much to these guys, and they're that competitive. And I know certainly if the playoffs is on the line, either one of those guys is going to want to suit up. So, it's a tough situation to be in, but less than ideal. But at the same time, I couldn't be prouder of these guys fighting through injuries, just like a lot of our players have. I mean, the 2 guys that you're sitting with right now play through injuries the whole season long. I mean, the things they've been able to do to get their bodies ready to play week in and week are very, very, very signature-wise. The fact that players want to put themselves through that tells you how much it means to them, and tells you how much the team means to them. So, all of my players do that, and I can't really say enough great things about the team we have, the effort that's been put forth, and the adversity they've fought through.
Coach, we appreciate you taking out some time out of your day. Enjoy the rest of the bye week. Enjoy the rest of Massachusetts and those beautiful views. I think we have some rain coming our way as well. And then of course, I will be catching up with you next week during practice, and of course next week's Blackjacks Weekly edition.
Well, Nick, I can't wait for it. But right now I'm involved in the Can Jam Championship tournament right now, so I'm going to try to win myself a title here on Cape Cod and bring that back to Atlantic City Court. Well,
I hope so. Then maybe we'll throw a cornhole tournament as well when you get back to the arena, all right?
I'm in. Great.
All right, thanks, Coach. All right, that was head coach Ron James of the Atlantic City Blackjacks. He'll be rejoining me in person next week when he gets back from his bye-week vacation. We'll take a quick break. On the other side, we'll wrap things up with LaMark and Monte. Look ahead to next week a little bit as well. Keep it locked here. Listen to Blackjacks Weekly right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Spend Saturdays this summer with 97.3 ESPN. Wake up with South Jersey's sports guy on the Pete Thompson Show from 8 to 10 a.m. Then it's The Locker Room with Billy Schwein from 10 till noon. Followed by Sports Bash Saturday with Josh Hennig. 97.3 ESPN is also your home for the Major League Baseball Game of the Week. Download the 97.3 ESPN mobile app and spend Saturdays with 97.3 ESPN.
Tropicana Atlantic City is not just a 24-hour gaming destination, it's a premier resort providing entertainment for everyone. Located on the beach and boardwalk, it's home to a wide variety of restaurants, bars, pools, and their very own IMAX theater. This season, Tropicana Atlantic City is proud to team up with the Atlantic City Blackjacks as the 2019 inaugural season presenting sponsor. For more information, visit Tropicana.net. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
Tilton Fitness, the official gym of the Atlantic City Blackjack players and Diamonds Dance Team, invites you to visit one of our 7 locations throughout New Jersey. Try one of Tilton Fitness's award-winning group exercise classes with over 125 to choose from every week. Use our state-of-the-art cardio and resistance equipment. Take a swim in our pool. Relax in our jacuzzi, steam room, or sauna. And complimentary babysitting for up to 2 hours. Tilton Fitness. See what we have to offer you.
When the sand gets hot, you gotta move fast, like a dog chasing a Frisbee. Move just as fast to the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event. Because for the first time ever, you can get 20% estimated savings on select Ford vehicles. Plus, earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. Don't let this hot deal on America's best-selling brand pass you by. Get into the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event. Based on 2010 through 2018 calendar year sales. Moda must be activated within 60 days of purchase through the Ford Pass app on a smartphone and remain active for at least 6 months after activation. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 9/3/19. See participating dealer for complete details.
The doctors at Reconstructive Orthopedics are dedicated to getting you expert orthopedic care you need for your bone, joint, muscle, or ligament injury or condition. When you need exceptional care focused on you, see the same orthopedic doctors that treat the Atlantic City Blackjacks at Reconstructive Orthopedics. Available in Bordentown, Cherry Hill, Medford, Morristown, Sewell, Vineland, and Voorhees. Reconstructive Orthopedics, focused on you.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
This is Blackjacks Weekly.
Presented by Bud Light on 97.3 ESPN.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township.
Back here, Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. It's Blackjacks Weekly presented by Bud Light. Nick Kosko alongside Monte Lewis and LaMark Brown. We're going to wrap things up quickly here, gentlemen. So I ask every week when we have a game. Now it's a bye week, and I can't ask what we're wearing this weekend. But I gotta ask, did you guys like the all white at home? LaMark, I know you like it because you have white shoes too.
I actually wanted to do black with whites.
How about you, Monte?
I'm a fan of the all black.
You're a fan of the all black? Me too, because I actually wore all black in high school when I played at an all state level. That's why, of course, I didn't play in college, of course, as well too. Big thanks to LaMark Brown and Monte Lewis for joining me today. Thank you to head coach Ron James for calling in and taking some time out of his day, out of his Can Jam Championship. Hopefully he brings that title back. And hopefully we're talking positive next week after hopefully a Washington loss this week. So keep an eye out for that. Baltimore, Washington this weekend. Blackjacks are back July 21st. The Boardwalk Hall, 4 p.m. Catch the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. I am Nick Kosko saying so long. You have been listening to Blackjacks Weekly, presented by Bud Light on 97.3 ESPN. Keep it locked for further programming. Have a good night, everybody.